This segment of DelmarvaLife is brought to you by SAT-7.
You know, if you and I were to sit here and list all of the things that a lot of us take for granted, we'd probably be here for quite a while. Some obvious things may come to mind: your home, the food you eat, the clothes on your back. But let's dig a little bit deeper.
Every week, maybe every day, a lot of us devote our time to our religion, our faith, a higher something in which we believe. We're not debating what religion. What we're focusing on is the fact that here in the United States, you're free to worship as you choose.
Now, as you can probably imagine, that's not the case in some other countries. So joining us today to give us a clearer picture of the struggles that a lot of people in some other countries face and what's being done to change it is Ruth Thomas, who is the Vice President with SAT-7 in Easton. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. So specifically, we're talking about the Middle East.
Yes.
Can you tell us what it's like over there?
Well, you have several situations going on. First, in Mosul, in Iraq, you have ISIS driving out the Christians by giving them an ultimatum saying, you either convert to Islam, you pay this tax on a monthly basis, or we'll kill you. And
wow.
They're very serious, and they actually have killed people, and they are driving the Christians out. So it's basically a purging of all of this history. This is the land of Nineveh. This is, you know, God's country.
Right. That's what Mosul is.
Yes, it's Nineveh.
Yeah, like
and so.
And how many people are we talking here?
We're talking over 3,000 families. So it's quite a number. They've abandoned 25 churches, and they've mostly fled to Erbil,
right,
which is a Kurdish territory and protected.
So they've got a little more protection.
A little more protection there,
being
yes.
there.
Yeah.
You shared with us a picture, and I may be jumping the gun here, and I apologize if I am, but you shared with us a picture of a church with what looked like concrete walls.
There it is.
There it is.
Yes.
Tell me about this. What is this?
This is a church in Iraq that is surrounded by blast walls because they're just at risk. You know, the suicide bombers, everything that's been going on, and yet the pastors, you know, are so committed and want to stay, but obviously in Mosul it just can't happen.
Now, when you mentioned 3,000 families, we're talking families, small children.
Yes.
Right? What happens with these children?
Well, the children are not going to be in school, so they're going to be trekking across the country. They're going to be living in shelters, living in tents, living in wherever they can find shelter. And what happens is they're not in school, so the parents are trying to figure out what to do with these kids, and they buy satellite dishes. They're very inexpensive. They put them up on the tents with car batteries, whatever they can do, and that's their window to the world. That's their only source of information. So the children, the most popular children's programming is our SAT-7 Kids. And this is Christian TV for kids, 24 hours a day.
Wow, how about that? Okay, so I'm going to throw this out there because I know that you deal with them all the time. There are people that say, well, that's there, that's not here, it doesn't have anything to do with me, why should I care?
Why should I care?
What do you tell them?
Because they're suffering. When one child suffers, we all suffer. And we see that here in the U.S., we see that across the world, we see it in Gaza, we see it everywhere. People care, and you know, we want to take action, but we don't want to fly around the world to help. So you can help through supporting a ministry like SAT-7 that is broadcasting in Arabic, in their language, their culture,
right,
and giving them what they need, which is good entertainment, but also teaching programs, educational, Bible-based programs.
Things that they aren't exposed to where they are now. I mean, really, they're isolated.
They're
right?
isolated. They don't have churches. They don't have Sunday school. They don't have Bible school, you know, vacation Bible school like our kids have. They're just out there in this, you know, wasteland, basically, or, you know, surviving on the streets, trying to sell a few pieces of fruit or whatever they're doing, but they need some education. So.
We're just about out of time, but I want to ask you real quick about something that you had said, that SAT-7 for Kids is a safe place for kids. What does that mean?
Well, the parents tell us that you know, my kids out on the street aren't safe, but if they're in my home, watching this channel, they're safe. They know that they're not going to get negative messages. They're not going to be told to be a suicide bomber,
Right.
which is some of the propaganda that's on TV over there. So they teach kids how to be bombers. So by watching SAT-7, they're watching it's a safe channel, and even though their family may not be a Christian family, it's still a safe place for their kids. So they watch as families.
Thank you so much for
Thank
enlightening
you.
on
you very
us
much.
on that, and to
Yeah.
read more about how you can help SAT-7's efforts, go to WBOC.com and click on our picture at the top of the page.